It's just crazy. You don't think about somebody being chopped up and put in suitcases. It's disturbing, very, and scary.
Sad situation in every circumstance, especially being right across the street from a public school. Like, kids here, nobody deserves that.
Police officers reportedly discovered human remains inside 2 suitcases this week while conducting a wellness check at a 22-year-old woman's apartment. According to reports on Wednesday, September 21st, NYPD officers went to an apartment in a Brooklyn neighborhood and found the suitcases with the remains inside. Local news reports people in her building, even family, became concerned because they had not seen or heard from the young woman for a few days. Neighbors even noticed an odor coming out of her apartment. DasiaJohnson was 22 years old and lived in Brooklyn, New York. According to her aunt, Dasia was a loving, sweet, and full-of-life girl. She was working and striving to finish school in hopes to one day become a teacher. Dasia enjoyed being around her friends and family, especially her mother and sister. According to Dasia's aunt, when her mother became terminally ill and she needed a friend, she thought she had a friend in her ex-boyfriend. The young woman got involved in a relationship with a 23-year-old unidentified man. The relationship between the two became toxic and later violent, forcing Dasia to get away. Dasia was also a client with Housing Plus, a nonprofit group that provides support and stable housing to vulnerable women, such as DV victims, people with criminal histories, and women who suffer with mental health issues. The building where she lived is owned by a private company, CNC Apartment Management, which also provides on-site security. Dasia also got a valid order of protection against her boyfriend that wasn't up until the end of the month. However, that did not keep him away. According to reports, the 23-year-old boyfriend had previously been arrested for coming to the apartment in March to pick up his belongings in violation of that order of protection. But even recently, reports claim neighbors said that they also heard fighting 2 weeks ago from her apartment. Neighbors later reported a foul smell and told security that the woman had not been seen for several days.
It's been a smell on the floor. It's been seeping throughout the whole building. The guy, he's been abusing her for a long time. When she moved in, he's not on her lease or nothing like that. If she's looking at a guy or she's by anybody, he'll just like smack her.
Her family also grew concerned when they were unable to reach her. And on September 21st, 2022, Dasia's aunt asked the building security guard to conduct a wellness check after her phone had been switched off for a while. A security guard went to her 6th floor apartment and attempted to enter, but was stopped by her boyfriend. The guard went back downstairs to call the police, and then he saw the boyfriend and another man sneak out with a suspected bag of evidence. That's when the security guard went back upstairs to the apartment and discovered the 2 suitcases with Dasia's remains in the bathroom.
She was my neighbor. She was a quiet person. There was always problems between them. Always. Arguments and problems between them.
New York cops tonight looking for the boyfriend of the 22-year-old woman whose remains were found late yesterday, stuffed into 2 suitcases in her apartment.
Bill, friends tell me that 22-year-old woman was sweet and humble. Meanwhile, police entered her home of horror, finding blood in the bathroom, a meat cleaver, and her remains stuffed in 2 suitcases.
Police responded around 1:40 p.m. and later executed a search warrant, during which they opened the suitcases and discovered the crime scene. The gory finds included dried blood inside the bathtub, where police also found clothes, several cutting instruments, and a possible tip of a human digit. Police also said that the 2 suitcases were next to the bathtub. However, police were not able to track down her boyfriend to question him at the time, and unfortunately, unfortunately, there are a lot of blockages as it relates to this case. Housing Plus declined to comment on the situation, calling it an ongoing police investigation. The management company that runs the building security couldn't be reached out for comment either. The family and neighbors questions why the building security would allow the suspect into the building, knowing the previous circumstances.
The guy, he's been abusing her for a long time. When she moved in, he's not on her lease or nothing like that. If she's looking at a guy or she's by anybody, he'll just like smack her.
Somebody gets hit very hard in the mouth, right? The blood trail will lead from the door to the elevator. They stood in the elevator, obviously, to the first floor, came back out to the front of the building. The blood trail stops there, and you see them both arguing in front of the building. You hear arguing, banging, loud stuff, regular stuff, but you can't, like I said, if you try to interrupt or something like that, you're just putting yourself in a problem you can't solve.
I want to move. I'm annoyed and I'm shocked.
Now this is the second time in this neighborhood that something like this has happened, and not that they're linked, but I'm just saying that it's unfortunate.
And her family would like the NYPD to release a public photo so that the person of interest could be taken into custody. As of today, the NYPD has not made an arrest in this case, but they do consider Dasia's boyfriend as a person of interest. And at this time, they are actively searching for him. I will continue to keep her friends and family in my thoughts and prayers at this time. I hope all their questions can be answered. There's a lot that the police are not giving right now to the public, so I'll make sure I'll stay up to date on this case. You guys, let me know your thoughts and your opinions down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys dearly, and with that being said, don't forget to check on your loved ones.